What's up guys, English Dan. Another phone review for you. Did the unboxing last week. Now, for me, this is the best phone under $300, maybe even under $500, that sadly most Americans have no idea exists. I'll let you know in a second. Welcome back guys. So yeah, I've been using this phone now for about a week and I'm really impressed so far. What is this magical phone? If you didn't see my unboxing, then you won't know. It's the actual Redmi 9S, Note 9S. There you go, Redmi Note 9S. I get so confused because it's called the 9 Pro somewhere else, just the Note 9 somewhere else. The naming is a bit scattered around the world, but this one is the Note 9S. This is the device. It looks fantastic. Can't go wrong with it. And I'm going to explain to you why. So I bought the 6GB RAM, 128GB storage version, and it was $227 on Amazon. Now, you look at some of the phones that you get over here for $227, you're not getting a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, phones are getting better in the low-end market, but they're not getting this good. And I don't understand why Xiaomi don't actually release these over here. Xiaomi is the company that makes these, Redmi is the sub-brand or the sub-name, whatever. $227. I'm just gonna put it out there right now. If they put this phone on the shelf in the United States at Best Buy or got it into carriers, and this was priced at $299 for this variant, nobody would stand a chance. Because this thing is just, I've been really impressed with it. But let me get a bit deeper into why I think it's such a good device and such a shame that the Americans aren't going to see it. Okay, so let's get the specs out of the way first. People are going to be thinking, yeah, it's got a MediaTek processor in it, it's going to have a 720p screen, it's going to be made out of plastic, it's going to have micro USB. You're very wrong on every count. So this actually comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G processor. Pretty quick. That's a fast processor compared to what you saw in like the Pixel 3a and that last year. And they were very fast for what they are. I've been using like Snapdragon 855 plus devices and 865 devices, and I was thinking, this is probably going to be a little bit slow. I am surprised that I have not noticed any issue when it comes to the 720G on this. It's a fantastic processor. It's very energy efficient, and I'll get more onto that in a little while because that's one of the big bonuses about this device. But yeah, no problem whatsoever. I can play PUBG on it on high and never noticed any stutter or anything like that, and that's quite an aggressive game to play. Works just fine on this. Got a 6.67 inch IPS LCD display. It's full HD plus at ratio 21:9, so it's a little bit taller than the previous version. Very easy to use. It's got a side mounting fingerprint sensor. This thing is the quickest fingerprint sensor I have used. There's just no doubt about it. It also doubles as the power button, but look at that thing. It's fast, like really fast. Gorilla Glass 5 on the back, looks really good. Comes with a case. You do get a camera hump from the quad camera setup on the back, but once you put the case on there, that hump's a lot less protruding than what it would be without it. So yeah, it's a nice feature that you've got this case. It's got a kind of dot matrix finish inside it. I tried to show it off on the unboxing, but unfortunately you can't really see it. But yeah, it's got quite a nice finish to it, and it keeps the fingerprints off this. Like I say, the back of it is Gorilla Glass 5, so you get in the latest and greatest of the Gorilla Glass. Is a fingerprint magnet, but it still looks really good. In the right, when the light hits it, it can also almost mirror-like. It can be at times, but I mean, it is a fantastic looking. If you can see that, the light shimmers off it great. It looks fantastic. $227. Keep saying that. It's also got USB-C. Comes with an 18-watt fast charger in the box. Yeah, $227. You get that too. 3.5mm headphone jack, which actually does pump out some decent sound. It also has aptX, aptX HD, AAC, and all the supports that you need, so you're going to get some real high quality sound out of these. I paired these with my Soundcore Liberty Air 2s while I was cutting the grass. Boy, this thing sounds great with them. It really does make a really good pairing. And when you think right now you can buy this and a pair of them earbuds for $350 and you're all in. Amazing value. But anyway, back to the phone. So yeah, side mounted fingerprint sensor, got the 3.5, got the USB-C charging, it's got a single downfiring speaker. It's pretty loud, not a lot of depth, but pretty loud. And it has a quad camera setup that consists of a 48 megapixel main shooter, a 8 megapixel wide angle camera, a 5 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Cameras on it are okay, I'll get back onto that in a little bit, but yeah, the overall phone and the package that you're getting is very, very nice. So like I was saying, the 720G processor in this is very quick, very snappy, no issues at all, didn't find any lag going through the UI or anything like that. You'll see on my device, I've actually thrown Launch Air on it. While MIUI is a lot better than it used to be, still not my favorite, so I threw a launcher on there called Launch Air, and that gives you the pixel look, and you can also have it where you swipe over to the left panel, the Google Slide. Spit it out, Dan. Come on. It's not a cheeseburger. Anyway, so yeah, it's very, very fast, and it looks just like a Pixel mine now, no problem. I really like the way you can change the launcher on these. Some of these phones that come out from these countries, like the Nubia, the Red Magic, that won't let you change the launcher. You're stuck with their launcher that's got dull logic. It's just ruined that phone by their stupid software. Xiaomi don't do that. They allow you to customize your launcher and things like that. MIUI is actually not bad on this, like I was saying. You can go in there and you can change things, a lot of customization, a dark theme. It kind of reminds me of a cross between iPhone and Samsung with a sprinkling of LG. It's kind of weird, but a lot of people like it. I'm just not one of them that's great on that. But like I say, that can be soon rectified by throwing on the launcher of your choice. I know a lot of people use Nova. I use Launch Air personally. I think it's great. But anyway, it flies through its menus, opens up apps, keeps them running for multitasking. It doesn't close an awful lot down. Storage is only the UFS 2.1, I believe, but it still opens and closes apps really fast. It's not an issue. Does only have a 60 Hz screen as well, so you're not getting any high refresh rate on this, but at $227, why would you expect that? It's just something you wouldn't expect. And if you did, I don't know what you think you're going to buy at $227 with a high refresh rate, quad camera setup, Gorilla Glass 5 on the back and the front. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You're not buying that. So when it comes to the build quality of the phone, it's tight. It's really nice. It's a really, really well built device. It actually feels a lot like a Samsung device when you hold it. It's just extremely well built. The railings around the side, really tight with the Gorilla Glass on the back. No gaps or anything like that around the camera. It just screams quality, and it's got a bit of heft to it, and there's a reason for that, and that's because it houses a 5020 milliamp hour battery. What? Yes, 5020 milliamp hour battery. Like I say, you get an 18 watt fast charger in the box with it, and it will charge pretty quick, but this thing takes 2 hours to charge even with the 18 watt charger, which isn't a nightmare in the grand scheme of things, because I can get 1.5 to 2 days out of this sucker. This is a battery god when it comes to it. If you're looking for a device that's going to offer you really good battery life, where you're not got to panic about, oh, I've got nothing to charge, I've left my charger at home. Don't worry about it. This has got you covered. It's going to last for a couple of days. And that's no joke. This is the best battery I've had on any phone that I've ever used. If you want a phone for top battery, it's in my hand right here and should be in yours. Back to the build quality though. Buttons are nice and clicky. That fingerprint sensor makes a nice little... Yeah, it's not bad. Feels premium. Feels like a phone that you would pay $500 or $600 for. Even the screen, even though it's IPS LCD screen, like I say, 6.67 inches and full HD plus, it's really punchy and it's got some really good colors on it. It's not a drab LCD screen like the Essential phone had a very muted LCD screen. This is very punchy. It looks very nice. It's not something that concerned me once while I've been using it. I've been using OLED displays for a while now on phones because a lot of the flagships and mid-ranges do go with an OLED display. This didn't, but it's not bothered me whatsoever. One thing I will say about it with this screen is, if you notice, there's no notch. I'll try and get a bit closer for you. Let's see if it'll focus in. There you go. There's no notch. But what there is a punch hole. So it's a punch hole camera display. Now with it being an LCD, when you go onto let's say a bright screen, so if I can let's load something up, even though I've got dark mode on. Well done, Dan. So we're going to go to Swapper. Unfortunately I've got dark mode on, so you don't see this issue as much, but this happens on most LCD screens. Hold on. When they've got a punch hole. So around the punch hole, you do get a little bit of light bleed every now and then, or you can just see some dimming when it comes to, you know, around the punch hole itself. I didn't notice it, and I wouldn't have cared if I wasn't looking for it, because I'd have never have noticed it. But obviously I need to tell you about these things, and it can be there, but it's not distracting, and it gets a pass from me. It's absolutely fine. It's also not oversized. Like, you get huge holes on some of these $200 phones where they've got the hole punch and it's a 1/4 of an inch wide. This isn't that bad at all. I've actually enjoyed using this as my main device for the last week. Great for media consumption also with that display. Very impressed so far. Let's talk about the single firing speaker. Nothing to write home about. Gets pretty loud, very clear, doesn't distort or anything like that, but there isn't any low end into it. And you know, that's just the way it is with a lot of cell phones nowadays. No low end in the single firing speakers. Now, when they use the top and bottom speaker variation, you know, the stereo speaker setup, you do sometimes get some depth out of the main speaker from the bottom, but not on this one. It's a single fire, but it's loud enough, and you're going to hear notifications and the ringtone from, I can hear it from the other side of the house, no problem. So it is very, very loud. Just jumping back to MIUI as well, one thing that would put a few people off maybe is the amount of pre-installed apps that come on with MIUI. There's game after game after game after game on there that I never play. Bubble games and ball bouncy games and whatever, don't care, but they're on there as soon as you launch it up. A lot of apps on there that shouldn't be on there from go. You should be, I'm a firm believer that once you've bought the phone, you should be asked if you want these to be downloaded on your device. Not already have them and then go and delete them. You've already purchased the device. Now, another thing that this does have is it has a security feature where when you download an app from anywhere, the App Store, let's say, it runs a security scan through it, and on that security scan it has ads. There's a reason for it, but I still don't like it, and I would rather be able to pay a little bit more to get rid of the ad that it shows on there. Some people say it comes up in the settings. I've never had it in the settings, and I've been in and out of this phone, not had it in the settings whatsoever, but I've had it in the security app. It's not big, it's not scary, it's just a white screen while it's scanning, and it'll show you an ad. And that's it. And the reason they do that is showing me to get this down to such a low price, they agree to show ads in certain apps, I suppose, but that's the only app I've seen any advertisements in. And like I say, it's not something that's horrendous, and it's not going to be like, oh my God, it's blaring a video out to me. It's not even that. It's a silent picture. You know, it's just a photo there, and you can click there if you want to. You're going to see it for 1 or 2 seconds while your app's being scanned. Might put some people off. Didn't bother me one bit. I didn't look at it thinking, oh God, I'm sick of seeing that. Didn't even look at it, but just wanted to let you know because it could be an issue with people. So let's talk about the camera. 48 megapixel camera, it uses pixel binning. It's okay. It's not the best camera out there. It's okay. It does catch some pretty true to life colors. That's one thing I will give it, but the images do come out a little bit soft. There's not a lot of sharpening added to the photos, which some people like. They like the softer look, but at the same time, you can lose some of the details. It's okay. Switch over to the full 48 megapixel camera, and I don't know what's going on there, but you seem to get a lot of noise compared to the pixel binning version of, you know, you point and shoot. I think the full 48 megapixel shot looks a lot worse than the actual regular old press shoot and don't worry about it. Then you got the wide angle, which isn't bad. Like I say, it's 8 megapixel, loses some of the HDR. High dynamic range in the main shooter is pretty good, like I say, because it's soft, it does lose some of the details, but it doesn't overexpose either or anything like that. It keeps the details in the shadows. It loses a little bit on the wide angle, and that's pretty common for a lot of wide angle cameras on cell phones, especially in this price range, but it does still have some dynamic range. It doesn't lose all the details, it just loses some, and it can blow some of the skies out sometimes. So, yeah, the macro camera, I don't know why they're going with this macro thing. Just give us like LG used to do. One of wide, regular, telephoto. I'd rather have a telephoto. But, you know, some people like the macro. I'm not going to say you're wrong for it. It's just my personal opinion. I'd rather have the 3 mains instead of the 1 gimmick, which it is to me. And then the 2 megapixel depth sensor helps for portrait shots. And it does do quite a good job of portrait shots, this. I was quite impressed out of the rear camera. The cutout is pretty sharp and very clear. Pretty good if you like portrait shots. The selfie camera on this, again, not bad. Same problem though. Soft images, not very much sharpening. Now, when you do portrait mode on this, on the front camera, you get like a halo effect around the cutout. It's not horrendous, but it's not the best. Also, it has a night mode. Don't use it. because it's not very good. I'm just going to say it. Sorry, it's just not very good. Don't worry about night mode. Don't bother with it. So, lots of noise, still pretty dark. Another thing I like about this device is the haptic feedback. This is almost as good as the Pixel 4 XL's haptic feedback, and I think that's probably the best Android device for haptic feedback. This is the second best. Bizarre. Some people don't care about it and they're like, oh, but if you use a phone that's got horrible haptic feedbacks, you'll know it. Especially when you go onto something that's got great haptics. You'll be like, yeah. Horrible haptic feedbacks can make the phone a horrible experience when typing, things like that. Not on this, nice haptics. Jumping back to the camera, because I'm going here, there and everywhere, also does 4K 30 on the main sensor, optimized electronically, and it does do pretty good. Also does 1080 30 and does do slow motion and time lapse and things like that. There's plenty of options in the camera. So the camera, as far as options and things like that, is very good. It can take some great portrait shots out of the main shooter. Other than that, they're just okay. You can, however, throw Gcam on there. If you don't know what Gcam is, go and Google it. It's basically the software that's used on the Pixel devices, and it uses Google's magical voodoo software to make your pictures look even better. And it does work on this, and it works really well, especially for the front-facing camera when you're doing portrait selfies. It does look pretty good. A couple of things this phone doesn't have. It doesn't have NFC. I've not seen a phone for a long time that doesn't have NFC, so you can't use Google Pay at the checkout, which is a shame, really. I think NFC should be a must on any device now. It should be there. NFC payments are everywhere now. It's not like, I'm going to say 90% of the stores I go in at least have cardless payment, NFC payment. And this doesn't offer it. So that is a bit of a bummer. That really could be a game changer for some people. Some people don't like to have to press the buttons when you're swiping your card. Especially nowadays with what's going on, it's so nice to have a hands-free beep, paid. No. The other thing this doesn't have is wireless charging. Ooh, everyone's gonna moan, oh, it should have wireless charging. But hey, like I said, I can get 2 days out of this if I need to. No problem. No problem. I could get a day and a half, not having to, not worrying, thinking, well, I need this to last 2 days. No, I can use it just the way I would use any other phone and get a day and a half, no problem. So battery on this is great. I don't think wireless charging is that much of an issue because of that. So overall, what do I think about the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9S or 9 Pro or 9 or wherever you are in the world it's called? I think this is the biggest miss for the United States in 2020 so far. If you stuck this, like I say, at $299 next to the Motorola devices and the blue phones, this thing is going to fly off the shelves with the right salesperson telling them the real information about this. You got the Galaxy A51. For me, this blows it away. It just better all over. It, all right, it doesn't have an AMOLED screen, but it's just a better built device. It feels more premium. It looks more premium. There's no stutters or hangs up or anything like that. I dare say the cameras are on a par with it as well. If you get good light with this, you can get some good pictures that can get real good details. Like I say, they're just a little soft. Compared to what you can get at $227, call it $250 with tax over here. This is the best phone Americans will never buy, and it's a shame. You can get it from Amazon, and I suggest you do. If you're looking for a budget phone, go and get it. It is only for GSM devices though. So GSM carriers like T-Mobile, AT&T, not Verizon, not Sprint. I have no problem using this on T-Mobile. I get 4G LTE everywhere I go, full bars, so it's not a problem. If you're looking at, maybe buying a phone that's a little cheaper than what you can get at T-Mobile or AT&T, or something that's as cheap as what you can get but offers a lot more value, you got no problem with this because it's going to work on your network. So yeah, I highly recommend this. It's such a shame that Xiaomi haven't brought this to the United States. It's a fantastic device. It punches so far above its weight, it's unreal. You will love it if you go out and buy this, and even if you don't like the software, put a launcher on it and there's your problems gone. It's the best $227 phone, period. I'm going to say it's the best $400 and less phone, period, right now. And that includes the iPhone SE, but only because, take away iOS. Somebody wants iOS and wants to be in the iPhone, Apple ecosystem. They're going with that no matter what if they want to spend on a cheap phone. Somebody who doesn't know what they want and doesn't care whether they have Apple or Android, this is a winner all day long. So yeah, hopefully if you're looking for a newer device over here in the United States and you're not happy with what you're seeing at under $300, go on Amazon. They get some wicked colours. They got a real nice blue colour as well. In fact, the blue colour is shown on the box. because I thought they'd sent me the wrong one. But they also do it in a real nice blue colour. Go get it. You won't regret it. This is English Dan saying peace out.